What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to TTB Ravens Media, bringing Ravens content every single day from us, the Daily Ravens content. Make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Baltimore Ravens' third pick. Again, if you didn't know, I'm posting this late because I'm at a wedding. If you already saw, my reaction to the second round pick, I'm sorry if this sounds a little bit familiar, but recording these, I do not know who the Ravens picked. Obviously, I know they just picked Rosengarten out of Washington, so they just went tackle. So when I'm looking at this round 3 selection, I'm hoping for wide receiver. But again, if they decide to go with another offensive lineman, I don't think I will be upset. If they decide to go edge rusher, I think that could be a really solid move. I'd be surprised if they went running back, but there's some running backs that I do like in this class. But really, those are the only positions I think the Ravens would even consider going is edge, lineman, or wide receiver. So maybe I guess linebacker. I think the Ravens would be all right if they do draft linebacker. But with that in mind, make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be able to watch some of the draft on day 3, so I'll post those videos immediately, and then the ones that I have to miss because of the wedding, I will post those the next morning. Again, doing a similar system. I'll be on airplane mode, and you guys will be able to see my initial reaction. But I'm pulling up round 3 right here. So Malachi Corley, goes to pick. Oh, that's the Jets. Sorry, I didn't even recognize the Jets' new logo. Trey Benson went. Big fan of Trey Benson. Braylon Trice went. Kieran Amagagie went that early. I like that a lot for him. Shout out to him. Matt Gonclaves. Okay. Jermaine Burton out of Alabama. Christian Haynes ended up going. One player that I'm not seeing is Javon Baker. Blake Corum went round 3. I love that for Blake Corum. Roman Wilson, Zach Zinter, Dominic Pooney. Wow, some guards going early. Marshawn Lloyd. Some running backs and guards right here. That's pretty interesting. Pick 28, Tyron Hopper. Pick 29, Jalen McMillan. Ravens end up taking Adisa Isaac. Wow, we do end up going with pass rusher. That's a good pick. Especially when you consider where a lot of people had him valued as potentially a solid second round player. Adisa Isaac, I think I saw some people having him as like the 6th or 7th best pass rusher in the draft. I didn't have him graded that high. I thought he was maybe a back end of the second player. But I think that, that's value right there, right? That's the Ravens way. They're going to try and take pass rusher if they're available. One thing that I believe he is able to do is play a little bit across, and play in a couple of different spots. And I think a lot of people know that I wasn't a huge fan of Chop Robinson because I felt like he was a little bit overvalued, and I think he went a little bit earlier than I would have taken him. But at the same time, Adisa Isaac is someone who absolutely could make an impact on this defense, but again, not as necessarily a starting player. He's someone that is going to be able to fill in for Odafe Away, fill in for Kyle Van Noy, fill in for David Ojabo, and really battle it out with not Trenton Simpson, Tavius Robinson, other T rookie from last season. And one thing I do want to look up, I want to look up his combine. If I'm remembering correctly, he ran 4.7, but I do want to confirm that. Let's see here. I apologize. Just want to double check that I have the proper intel. I was watching him a little bit a couple of nights ago. I think I watched him. My internet is being a little bit slow. I apologize. All right, here we go. Okay, yeah, 4.7, 440-yard dash, 1.64 10-yard split, 34.5-inch vertical, 10-foot 3-inch broad jump. And yeah, so he's looked at as a defensive lineman that can maybe fill in a little bit as a slide in as a 3-tech every once in a while. Obviously, maybe a 3-4 defensive end is probably where I would put it if you guys want that. But them going with pass rusher does not surprise me. Them going with someone out of Penn State also doesn't surprise me. I think he did have good production in college. Um, let's see here. Again, I apologize. I don't know his sack numbers off the top of my head. Um, but, oh wow, of course I pulled up his professional statistics. We need his college statistics. Sorry about that. Let's see here. Defense and fumbles. So sacks, he had 7.5 sacks last year, 4 sacks the year prior. So obviously last year ended up being a breakout season for him. 16 tackles for loss. But overall, I think this is a solid pick. I'm surprised the Ravens are yet to go wide receiver, but at the same time, I'm somewhat pleased that they're showing faith and commitment towards Rashad Bateman. So them waiting, and I think almost for certain they'll draft a wide receiver round 4. They do have picks. They have 2 picks in the 4th round. They have one, I think it's pick 13. And then they have one that is obviously their standard draft pick. So that would be 96. No, 126, I think it is. I'll double check. But when I'm looking at this draft right here, I think I'm seeing versatility is something the Ravens are clearly going for. And this is the second defensive player that the Ravens have drafted for their new defensive coordinator. And so what is Zachary Orr looking for? Nate Wiggins, I think he's looking for speed, athleticism, versatility. And then Adisa Isaac, versatility on the defensive end. And he was productive, but being able to put him maybe a little bit on the inside, definitely put him on the outside, fill in backup roles. I think he recognized how beneficial it is to have backup defensive linemen after we saw David Ojabo go down the last 2 years. So, I think this is a solid pick. I will say I don't necessarily think it's the pick I would have made, but I can see exactly why they got there. If they don't have any of these wide receivers that are available, right? Guys like Troy Franklin, which I am surprised Troy Franklin has fallen this far. He could be a guy for round 4. Brendan Rice, Javon Baker, those are kind of the big names that are still available. I would love any of those players round 4, but I think this is an all right pick. I think it's a very Ravens pick. I think I saw somebody tweet, I can't remember exactly who it was. It might have been Ravens for Dummies might have tweeted it out trying to get the right credit, but he said Robinson, Darius Robinson to the Ravens would be like the most Ravens pick possible in the first round. And while that didn't happen, Adisa Isaac is like, that's a very Ravens pick. And when the Ravens do those Ravens pick, they usually do pretty well. So I think it could definitely work out. Glad to have somebody, competing, as a round 3 pass rusher, competing and trying to get better and help this team win and get a pass rush, because that's the one thing really this defense was missing last year was a pass rush from the outside, from young players, because it was like Kyle Van Noy and it was Jadeveon Clowney and obviously Matabike in the middle. Let's get some of the young guys, get a fire under them, get them getting sacks, and start watching even more dominant Ravens football. Thank you all so much for watching. Subscribe for more. And I'll see all of you again on Saturday with my reactions to the Ravens draft picks again. I'm sorry I couldn't do it, necessarily live, but these will be posted in the morning. Hopefully you guys enjoy. Let me know what you think, and I'll see y'all again next time.